everyone and welcome. This week I'm going to be picking my February TBR. I'm going to be using my TBR jar to help me pick, but I'm also just going to pick one book from a series I've already started. Because the thing is, I feel like I'm starting all these series and I'm not continuing them as quickly as I would like, and I'm afraid I'm going to start forgetting things, so I'm just going to start every month. I'm going to pick a book from a series I've already started to add on to my TBR on top of what I pick from the jar. So for this month, I would like to prioritize continuing series, but I would also like to prioritize, I have a few books left on my winter TBR that I would like to read in the winter. So it'd be nice to add some of those, but I don't have anything that I'm like super set on wanting to read this month. So let's just get started with our first prompt. See, our first prompt for February is gonna be a book that's out of my comfort zone, okay? I'm gonna have to look for this one. Alright, so for a book out of my comfort zone, I ended up choosing The Shadow of the Gods by John Gwynne, and this is the first book in the Bloodsworn saga. So I just added this one to my 26 for 2026 video, and I was talking about how this was out of my comfort zone, so I figured this would be the perfect one to add. And I am very excited to get to this one, but in this one we have a Norse-inspired world, and we have gods that have warred until basically they have driven themselves to extinction. And now there are monsters, there are people fighting for power, there are whispers of a potential war, and we are following three people on their journey. We have a huntress on a dangerous quest, a noble woman who is in pursuit of battle fame, and a thrall who wants vengeance on the famed mercenaries known as the Bloodsworn. This sounds really good. This sounds a little bit more fantasy heavy than I would usually read. I think this will be a good one. This sounds really interesting. This definitely sounds out of my comfort zone. It sounds more like of an epic fantasy than I would typically go for, but I'm excited for it. All right, book number 2. Let's see. For book number 2, I'm going to the newest book on my TBR. Okay, I just added some. I'm gonna have to double check and see what it is. Alright, so my second book of February is going to be Daggermouth by H.M. Wolf. And this is one I was really excited about. I've just suddenly seen a lot of people talking about it, saying it's really good, so I went ahead and added it to my TBR. But I don't actually know too much about it. From what I'm seeing, we have this ruling elite class who is corrupt. And we have Grayson, one of our characters, who is the heir to the presidency, but he has some kind of secrets going on behind the scenes. He ends up being forced into a marriage for political reasons to a woman named Shadira. And Shadira is a mercenary who was meant to get rid of him, but she wasn't able to, and now she is stuck married to him. I'm seeing it's a dystopian. It's compared to the Hunger Games, Marriage of Inconvenience. You know, it sounds good to me. I'm excited for it. All right, let's go ahead and pick another. This is going to be book number 3. I haven't decided if I'm going to do 4 or 5 and then my series. An author that I have read from before. Okay. Let me think about that. Alright, so for this one, I decided to go ahead and continue a series for this as well. And what I picked was Winter of the Wicked by J.L. Vampa. And this is the second book in the Sister Solstice series. This was one of the ones I had on my winter reads. And it's a series I can continue, so I thought this would be the perfect choice. But basically, in the first book, we are following Sister Autumn, and all of the sisters each get the grimoire during their season, and they are told by the grimoire what they are meant to do. And Autumn always gets all of the worst tasks, like starting war, plagues, stuff like that. And she is sent off to a kingdom where she is told by the grimoire that she has to marry the prince. And then once she's there, she gets kind of wrapped up in the secrets that unravel and in the political things that are going on there. And then in this one, we are continuing the story. I believe we're going to be following Sister Winter in this one. I'm assuming each book switches between the sister, but I'm not 100% sure. But I really liked Autumn of the Grimoire, so I don't know. I think this one will be really good too. All right, book number 4. I think we'll do 5. And then I will pick my current series. Okay, a book that is hyped. Okay, that could be a lot of things. Let me take a look. Alright, so for a hyped book, I picked Face Off by Chelsea Curto. And this is the first book in the DC Stars series. And I have seen so many people talk about this. This is a hockey romance book. I'm not really a contemporary romance, sports romance type of person. I just usually have a hard time really getting invested because if I don't really love the characters and their romance, which I feel like I never do, I mean, there's really not much else to care about in a contemporary romance book. But so many people love this that I want to give it a shot, and I have it on my winter TBR, so I'm going to go ahead and add it. And from what I understand, we have Emerson and Maverick, who are both NHL players, and we are following their story. And that's all I really know about that one. But let's go ahead and pick one more from the jar. Let's do a new to me author. Okay. Okay, well that could be a lot of people. Let me take a look. Alright, so for a new to me author, I chose This Woven Kingdom by Tahira Mafi. And I have just heard so many good things about this series, particularly the later books, but I want to get started on it. I have it on my 26 of 2026 TBR, so I'm just really wanting to get to that. We're following our main character who is hiding out, but she is actually the long-lost heir to an ancient Jinn kingdom. And there are prophecies that she is meant to get rid of the king. And I've just heard really good things about this, so I'm excited to finally get started on it. Alright, so for the series I'm going to continue, I went ahead and picked book number 2 from Zodiac Academy, which is Ruthless Fae. And I really liked Zodiac Academy. I gave it 4 stars, I believe. It's not perfect, but it's a lot of fun, and I'm kind of just feeling like I could use a palette cleanser right now. But in the first book, we are following twins Darcy and Tori, who are living in the human world, and then they are found and taken to the Fae realm, to an academy, where they find out that they are actually Fae, and that they are actually also the long-lost heirs to the throne. But the 4 celestial heirs who were meant to get the throne before the twins were found aren't happy about this, and so they're trying to bully the twins out of the academy so that, because if the twins don't graduate, then they cannot take the throne. But I'm really wanting to continue this because this is a long series and I need to keep going and not forget what has happened. And I've heard the middle books are the best ones, so I'm wanting to get to those. But yeah, I'm really excited to continue this one. That is going to be the last book on my February TBR. Let me know in the comments down below what you're planning to read this month. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And I hope to see you all in the next one.